here in a Google chat. We actually have a slightly bigger gang this time. We're going to see what, see if we can squeeze them all in good and tight.
Squeeze.
Not too tight.
Might take a bit of effort here. Hold on. Google chat's struggling to keep up just with all the people who are here. Alright. Hold on a second.
Sean, you forgot to not make it double U, by the way.
What?
You forgot to not make it double U. Like, we can still see you on camera over here.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. I did that last week. It was fun.
Okay.
And I think I just shit my pants. No, just kidding. I'm alright. Where am I going here? I have to actually open the chat up the other end here, and
Now and waste no time. What the fuck is this?
there we go. Okay. Initializing live stream. Excellent. Good. Where am I going here? I have to actually open the chat up the other end here, and
Now and waste no time. What the fuck is this?
there we go. Okay. Initializing live stream.
Hello, everyone.
Oh,
Excellent.
that's a good start.
Have I done the... Hold a second. Have I done the split screen yet? Where is it?
Now and waste no
There it
time.
is. No, I have not. Okay, let's
Okay, so
bring
let's see
everybody
how-
in here. Okay. So you get skin slips, stream,
Door.
skin slips, empty room. So welcome to a massive crowd of people, at least for the first hour or so. We've got Razman's Reality.
What's up, everybody? Yes, contrary to popular belief, I am not dead. I just can never catch Sean in the appropriate time zone. But tonight I was allowed to stay up a bit late over here, so it's good to see you.
Excellent. I'm just going to wait for your screen to come into focus a little bit there. There we go. Host of the Razman's Reality on YouTube and internet radio show. Does quite a lot of broadcasting. God damn it, Skin Slip, stop talking over everybody. Thank you.
Fuck you!
Your
Just shut up.
Your big blazing row with Alex in the other room was dominating the whole chat for like 5 minutes.
Good.
All we could see was your empty
Deserve it,
room,
I
and
guess.
we're all like, "Hi, welcome, blah 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 blah." Shut up, Skin Slip.
Serves you right for having me as a friend.
Oh God, Brandon
Right?
just invited more people in. This is truly going to be Friday Night
It's gonna be
Insanity.
Alex.
Okay.
I'm not
Yes.
gonna say much.
Yes.
Alex
But
is
would we really have it any
okay.
other way? Z? I don't think so.
Are we actually live?
Yes, we're
Yes, we've been live for.
Yay! Hi,
minutes.
I need to refresh so I can insult people. Hold on.
So we got who else we got here? Sorry, Google's being really slow here.
Work.
We
You
have
piece of shit.
Wet NA for life. Oh wait a minute.
That's TNA.
WWE and
WWE
TNA
for
for life. Wrestling guru, avid gamer, and WrestlePalooza owner.
Yes, hello
Plug
everybody.
away.
I am a wrestling fan, and I do apologize in advance for this.
But the thing is, he's
Why?
also, this is the guy who co-hosts the wrestling show that I do. I do 2 shows. I do the Razman's Reality, but I also do Talk Wrestling Online. And the thing people don't know about this guy is that he's also an avid film fan. So he can contribute to the discussion tonight if he chooses to.
I
So,
can.
Alrighty. And then,
I'm also apparently a permanent guest star on both those shows.
you know Skinslip, of course. He's making his rounds through the internet.
I'm on drink
like a
4
madman.
already, people. You're
Stout
There you go.
just flies in the room.
Hit the deck. He's on number
Drink
4.
5 coming up, bro.
And we have the Flying Graysons, represented by Stoudman, apparently. Wow, Google Chat is
that's
hella slow
way
tonight.
too
Okay,
much. Fuck.
and
Yeah, I'm on pill 3.
there we go.
Pill 3.
Pill 3, Xanax
The
time.
world's longest introduction ever.
And we have the ever enigmatic William Edens joining us as well.
Better known as Chill Pilgrim 1138 on YouTube.
Chill
Who has
Pilgrim.
an excellent YouTube channel, I might add.
There you go.
As
Well, thank you.
So we actually have. I think this is the first, if I'm not mistaken. We actually have 2 people that aren't on the geeky.
You can see his collection in the background. There is obviously, he's obviously one of us. Just judging from that alone.
One of us. One of us.
Alrighty.
Oh, and it's appropriate that Sean is wearing his Batman shirt because he's representing DC and I'm representing Marvel with Captain America.
Oh, well, there you go. Which is funny because
it's weird because it's the last.
I was gonna say it's funny because I'm usually more of a Marvel fan and you're more of a DC fan, so it's
we got it reversed. Yeah, for sure.
Wait a minute.
And Alex, my roommate, just joined us.
Well,
wrong side.
Since we opened the door, I should let.
Yeah, I'm here.
I haven't had a chance to tell Sean I did finally see The Dark Knight Returns in full film saga. Finally.
Oh, there you go. The 2-part animated adaptation had the double bill there. Awesome.
And it exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, it's pretty
Which, knowing
good.
me and Batman, is saying quite a lot.
Yes. No, I thought...
it's really weird.
Yeah, considering that many people consider that graphic novel pretty much unfilmable, I think they did a really good job with that adaptation.
Oh, they did.
They didn't film it, technically. That's why.
They filmed it almost verbatim, and they had the perfect cast. And as I did... When I first read the graphic novel, I had chills all up and down my spine and my arms during the Superman Batman fight.
That's appropriate, my friend.
That's pretty awesome.
It's been weird. It's weird because in the 80s, DC had the best characters, Marvel had the best stories. It's the exact opposite now. DC has the best stories and Marvel has the best characters. And it seems to change about every 20 years. It flip-flops that dynamic.
Yeah.
On the verge of a flip-flop, I think, in my personal choice, because all the reboots DC's been doing, they've really lacked on the stories. Minus Green Lantern.
Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews of the New 52. Some of them are really good, and some of them not so much.
The worst part about the New 52, I'll just say it flat out, don't read Batgirl because it's not Barbara Gordon. It's some totally new character, and it absolutely sucks.
I thought, wasn't it?
Oh.
No, it's Batgirl.
Oh.
But it's
Is it Batgirl? It's not the chick in the red and black, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Okay.
The chick, she's got like red and black and purple.
Right,
Yeah.
she's the lesbian or whatever. She's pretty cool, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not. No,
It's not the Asian girl from the other series.
No, it's not the same thing.
No.
This other chick, no. The thing about this character is it's really cool. It's progressive because it's one of the first openly gay, comics where the chick's like a lesbian. She has a lesbian with a lifestyle, and she's not some stupid lipstick lesbian.
Yeah, which is fine. New characters.
It's fine, but it's
new
just not very
characters
good.
are fine, but why call her Batgirl? Is my
It should
problem.
be Batwoman, I thought.
Because she should be Batwoman.
Bat Dyke.
Or Bat Dyke. There you go, Bat Dyke. It took me a minute to register what Sean said.
To be honest, guys, I really like the character. I don't care for the current story. You were right; it's not very good.
Yeah,
I'm agreeing and disagreeing with it at the same time. So.
All right. Well, here's something we talked about on the Razman's Reality Radio Show, which, by the way, is also done just like this with Google Plus Hangouts from 5 to 6 Eastern every Friday. If everybody wants to come and check that out as well.
There you
but
go.
I want to get Sean's opinion on this because I know
Plug.
has very strong opinions about the Dark Knight trilogy and whether or not it works or whether or not it doesn't.
Everybody
do you think?
Everybody keeps trying to drag that out of me, but I keep telling them the same thing. You gotta wait for the video. You gotta wait for the video.
No, I know. But see, I already know because I'm your friend. So but anyway, the point I was trying to make is, what do you think about the rumors that Christian Bale could possibly be returning in the Justice League film?
I think that's bullshit. I really don't see that happening. I think he's done with it. And I don't think his version of Batman would work in the Justice League. It really needs to be more comic booky than realistic.
Yeah, it needs to be more of a Adam West Batman.
Yeah, what?
Well, not so much an Adam West Batman, but you know what I mean. More, I don't know, more of the fantastical.
More of the fantastical ass kicker versus the
like
some
Michael
days I just
Keaton
can't seem to
Batman.
get rid of a ball.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But here's what I said about it earlier, and I think you'll agree, Sean. It all depends on the kind of Justice League movie they're going to make. Mm-hmm. If they're going to make a comic booky Justice League film, then absolutely recast Batman. If they're going to stick with the realistic Dark Knight trilogy, Man of Steel feel, then why not bring Christian Bale back? Because he's already been established.
I don't know that that's what they're going for, though. Like, I know they're doing that kind of with Superman, but I can't say, like, they tried to do Justice League all realistic and such, and it was basically the Justice League hanging out in, like, living in an apartment together. They were all each other's roommates. And this was they were trying to do it as a serious Justice League. It was a pilot. They did a live-action pilot they did, like, 10 years ago. And it was
don't you think
god awful.
Christopher Nolan has done so well with the Batman movies. So don't you think he would do like amazing?
No, I don't actually. Because he tried to make it all realistic, and realistic doesn't work for a comic book movie.
You think is what sums.
It kind of worked with the Batman movies, but I'll give you my sort of short version. Is I see the Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
Why can't we give Diedrich Bader a chance? That's all I'm saying.
I see them as good movies. I do not see them as good Batman movies. Oh, there's the bombshell right there.
I say here for T, Sean. I say here.
Yeah.
Here's my whole thing. As somebody that's been basically reading Batman since he was out of the womb, basically.
Yeah.
Here's my whole thing about it. I understand exactly what they were trying to do.
Oh yeah, so do I.
And for what they were trying to do,
yeah,
I think the films are phenomenal.
Yeah.
But do I think that they should have made a movie based around a comic book character that was supposed to be like completely real? Like made you think like, hey, this guy Batman, this could actually happen if you were Bruce Wayne and had all this money. No, I don't think that should have happened because it ruins so many good things about the character. Like, I'll give you a perfect example because we were talking about this off the air a couple weeks ago. The whole Lazarus Pit thing at the end of The Dark Knight Rises.
The Lazarus Pit and stuff like that.
Yeah, the only thing they were able to do with a pit in the Nolanverse is sort of like have it be like a deep, dark, empty well pit, and then just sort of suggest that when you walk out of it and when you succeed of crawling out of it, your body's rejuvenated.
Yeah.
They weren't able to create an actual Lazarus Pit where it can raise the dead.
We were talking about it, how in the comics the Lazarus Pit literally regenerates whoever steps into it, and it
that one it's like regenerates your soul.
That's what I was going to say. Is like but in the Nolan film it was more of a spiritual regeneration, rebirth,
which I liked.
Exactly.
But I understand why people didn't like at the same time, you know?
Because it's not true to the comics. Pure and simple.
Every problem people have with that is negated by the fact that it was so well done. So, you know, it's like, all right, whatever.
This is why I say, I think, yes, they are good films. No, I don't think they're good Batman films.
Well, taking Batman and the whole Batman story arc out of the equation, let me ask you this, just purely about the Joker. Do you think that Heath Ledger's the best live-action Joker of all time?
No. Well, I think there are aspects of the Joker that he brought to the screen that we hadn't seen before, and that's one of the things I liked about it. I wouldn't consider him a definitive depiction of the Joker. In fact, I think we have yet to see a definitive depiction of the Joker
on live action.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but because in animation we've had it for years.
Well, in animation we've had Mark Hamill, which is pretty damn close, especially when you factor in the movies where they were allowed to be a little more, less restrictive with the violence, like Mask of the Phantasm, for example. The thing I liked about what we saw in Heath Ledger's portrayal is we finally got to see on film, in live action, the more brutal, sadistic, truly psychotic side of the Joker, which is something we haven't really seen before.
Yes, I mean that was my favorite element to his
that's what I liked
performance,
about it.
Is anybody that's read like The Killing Joke, and epic graphic novels like that, they know that the Joker really never had a definitive origin. The whole thing about he fell into the vat of acid, and that's what made him the Joker. That was completely fictionalized by the 1989 Tim Burton film.
Yeah,
that was not the definitive Joker origin. In fact, what made the Joker such a popular, perfect villain for Batman is that you had no idea what his real origin was. No. Because every time he would get questioned about it, it would be a different story. And that's what Heath Ledger brought
Well, that
to
was
The Dark Knight.
Yeah. In that case, it was the whole. Do you ever wonder where I got? Are you wondering where I got my scars thing? And
it was some otter pops. I mean, I cut my lip on those so many times.
Yeah, and it was a different story every time. Meaning, only he knows for sure.
Yeah.
But,
so in that aspect of it, I thought he is absolutely beautiful. And and the reason that I'm asking the question is because it pisses me off to no end that people say the only reason he earned that Oscar is because he died.
No.
Oh.
That is so
I'm sure that it was a contributing factor to the attention it got, without question. But no, I mean, I'm sure if he hadn't won, he definitely would have been nominated.
He should have gotten at least nominated for Imaginarium Dr. Parnassus. I'm sorry.
I still have to see that. I actually have the Blu-ray.
I was going to say you have that because
I know.
It's so gorgeous.
Watching your update was
I
knew that Heath Ledger was in that film.
It
needs to be in high def. If you watch that in any other form, just shoot yourself. Whatever happens, you need to see Imaginarium Dr. Parnassus on high def. You can see it in the big screen. I missed the big screen.
Dude, it's Terry Gilliam. Of course, you need to see it in high def.
Well,
Terry Gilliam is a very
Terry Gilliam's films. Are
all you
elsewhere.
need to say about that film is
The Fisher King.
He's generally a very visual director. Like he has.
Is absolutely. There's a few of his movies like Tideland or Fisher King, which you don't really need a huge screen, but high def works.
But you look at stuff like Brazil and Time Bandits.
Oh God,
and,
I want that
even
Brazil
12 Monkeys
Blu-ray
to some extent,
so bad.
Yeah, same here.
Oh God.
Okay, well this is going back a couple weeks, but since I never get to be here, I have to give my opinion on some of the things you guys were talking about.
Yeah,
that I felt like I could chime in on.
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago, you guys were having a discussion about Green Lantern, which is my other favorite superhero of all time besides Batman.
Actually, Raz, it was largely thanks to your constant going on about Green Lantern and recommending it to me that prompted me to want to check out all the other Green Lantern stuff.
Yes, and that is one of the few videos to where I get a mention in the Multimedia Chronicles before it even starts. So,
pretty much.
To say I have that favorite.
Before the opening titles even.
Yeah. So, you guys were talking about is Green Lantern relevant before Jeff Johns got a hold of him?
Oh, right. Yeah, I maybe remember that, yeah.
I will say that the answer is no, with the exception of Green Lantern, Green Arrow.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's pretty much the conclusion we came up with, too.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because Green Lantern, Green Arrow was significant, not just for Green Lantern and Green Arrow, but just for comic books in general.
They pushed all that to the forefront.
They actually mentioned it on Comic Book Man a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And they said that was notable because that was the first time that comics were given a conscience.
Shit, I gotta see if Steve. I gotta see if Steve has. Well, I gotta go to Steve real quick and new Comic Book Man.
Here's the other thing about the Green Lantern film. The Green Lantern film has a ton of problems.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize, because they don't know the comic book history, like even Sean, just admitted that it wasn't until I talked to him about it that he actually read the comics.
Yeah.
So the thing that people don't know, because they don't know the history of the character, is that the reason the Green Lantern film sucked wasn't really any fault of the film itself. It was the fact that the filmmakers were trying to cram 3 iconic Green Lantern story arcs in one film.
It just got overcrowded, I think.
It got completely overcrowded. It didn't work. It was a complete mess. And the other thing that really hurt it is that, with the exception of Mark Strong and Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace, and also, of course, oh shoot, my brain just completely went. How himself,
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
With the exception of those three, the whole casting was suspect because you had people that were supposed to be like twice other people's age that were the same age. I mean, Blake Lively is like wait, and then you had the other. I
didn't think Blake Lively did a bad job. Let me clarify there.
Well, no, Blake Lively didn't do a bad job. But what I was gonna say before you jump down my throat, Brandon.
Brandon.
Sir.
Yeah, Brandon.
She's too young. She's too young for Ryan Reynolds. She has no business like being Ryan Reynolds' girlfriend because it doesn't look right.
Hey, I like younger women.
Hey.
Well, yeah.
18 and up, it's all fair game to me, man.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just thought I would. And the other thing is, I don't know how many people, because so many people may have seen it theatrically and gave up on it. People need to get it on Blu-ray and watch the extended cut.
The extended cut,
definitely.
Because the extended cut actually makes it better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Makes it slightly better of the film.
Well, I remember Stout was talking about that because he saw it theatrically, and then he said even when he saw it theatrically that he was thinking like, it seems like there's stuff that's been cut out, like certain things just aren't quite connecting up the way they should. And then he said, I bet there's going to be an extended version, and sure enough, the second it's released on Blu-ray, extended cut.
I would have just been okay with them doing a training movie about how he became Green Lantern.
I was going to say the best. Green Lantern First Flight, man. They should have just.
Oh God, yeah.
Absolutely.
They should have just patterned it after that, because you look at that and you watch First Flight after watching the movie, and you think, why didn't they do this just in expanded form? You know
what's even more infuriating about that, Sean, is the fact that Jeff Johns was an executive producer on the film.
Yeah.
So why isn't Jeff Johns sitting there saying, like, y'all have me here for my input. Here's your freaking best input right here on the paper.
Because here's okay, hold on. Let me explain this for you. All right, Raz. Here is a producer. Here is an executive producer. Whose input are they going to trust? Yeah. Also, executive producer is usually a thank you.
Yes, your argument works well in Hollywood, but this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. The difference between Hollywood and comic book world. Like, they should not make a comic book film without listening to the people that create the comics.
Case in point, and proof that it works when you do it that way, Dredd.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because Dredd had the full involvement of John Wagner and the German artist whose name is unpronounceable by humans.
You're talking about the remake, right?
The new one. No, it's not a remake. Do not ever call it a remake. It is a new film based on the same source material. Completely new.
Don't make me drunkenly get down your throat,
But, yes, the new film. Because it had the
Carlos Ezquerra?
Yeah, that guy. So it had the involvement of him and John Wagner. He's John Wagner, nice, easy name to pronounce. But the original co-creators of Judge Dredd, and they invited and welcomed and encouraged their input throughout, because they really set out to make the best Dredd film they could with the money they had.
It was so good.
And they really nailed it. Like, I mean, I'm not even that familiar with the comics, but from what little I know, it seemed to me like this is the kind of Dredd I pictured from what I know.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm going to say this right now.
How much did it make?
The problem is,
Dredd, you are an asshole and deserve to be shot in the face.
The sad part is,
perfect.
The sad part is,
I'm not going to bash Dredd at all.
No. He's just saying generally, blanket statement.
Oh, okay. All I was going to say was that I haven't had an opportunity, unfortunately, to see it yet, but naturally it's like right on top of my list, because Carl Urban, like, he became my hero as soon as as soon as he was Bones in Star Trek 2009.
Total man boner.
Like, I knew that guy was perfect for anything.
Supposed to a woman boner?
And actually, if they were going to recast Batman in Justice League, if they were going in a different direction, and they were going with a fairly young Batman, Carl Urban would be freaking phenomenal.
I can see Carl Urban doing it, yeah. But yeah, he's great as Dredd. Like, just really gritty, no nonsense, take no shit. As far as how much it made, unfortunately, it kind of bombed at the box office. It actually didn't even make back what they'd spent on making it, so it like completely tanked. But
which is unfortunate because that's one of the things that makes me wish that they would start having home video sales count toward.
Can I get my butt in? I only said half of what I was gonna say. It bombed at the box office, but it's been selling like hotcakes on DVD and Blu-ray. So the thought is, this is interesting. It almost seems like more people... Well, I mean, part of it was, I think, because it was an R-rated film. So most superhero action movies nowadays are PG-13, which means bigger audience potential, more kids can go see it and stuff. With an R-rated film, and this is pretty hard R, too. There's a lot of violence and language in it. Not really any nudity, but a lot of violence and language.
Right there you go.
That alienates a big chunk of the audience that would want to see it, namely teenagers. So comes out on home video, suddenly everybody can see it because all they need to do is find somebody to buy it for them if they can't buy it themselves, right? And teenagers will find a way to see R-rated movies.
Yes, you and I have had this discussion numerous times on my radio show when you've been able to make an appearance. It goes back to the antiquated system that Hollywood has about what represents a good film and what doesn't, because if they would take home video sales into account, that they would have much better.
They really need to start doing that more because the world has changed, and it seems like Hollywood is always the last place to change with the way the rest of the world has gone. I mean, look at all the copyright flags on YouTube and shit, but that's a whole other discussion.
Well, they'll still try to find a way not to have it make a profit.
Yeah, I know. Well, the problem, I mean, that's a whole other discussion itself there, too. But basically, as far as Dredd goes, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22 because the subject matter basically means that if you want to do Dredd properly, it needs to be an R-rated film. You can't do it as a PG-13. You just can't. And do the
No, you can't. Anybody that's ever picked up a Dredd comic would automatically know that.
Yeah. So
they do it as PG-13, but then it would be shit.
Yeah, well, the Stallone movie was PG, and there you go.
Yes.
But
Rob Snyder's the best part.
Yeah, basically, there's a problem when. But
and I'm glad you said that about the Stallone film, Sean, because that's a misconception. I've had people say that to me, like, do I need to see the Stallone film before seeing Dredd? Absolutely not.
The other sad part of it is I think a lot of people thought it was meant to be a sequel to the Stallone film, or that it was somehow related to the Stallone film, or that it was a remake of the Stallone film. It's like, no, it has nothing to do with the fucking Stallone film. It's a reboot.
It's a reboot.
Yeah.
It's its own film.
And because a lot of people hated the Stallone film, or, saw it not being familiar with the comic book character, and just kind of took it on its own merits, did not see the new one, thinking that, because they hated the other one. And that hurt it. So the Stallone film has hurt Dredd's future chances of having a successful film. The R rating hurt it, but that was the gamble they took, wanting to be faithful to the character. The fact that they shopped it around to major studios, but none of the major studios would take it, probably because they knew how well the Stallone film had done, i.e. not very well. So they went indie, which means going indie means more creative freedom, obviously, but it also means you won't get as big an advertising budget. So they really lost a lot on advertising and exposure. So
exactly,
there's a lot of factors.
It's all BS because of the way they do things, and it makes me. I always make this argument with people, and people think I'm insane, but really. What is the point of going to the cinema anymore? Because by the time you buy popcorn and you buy a drink and you're having to deal with like loud, obnoxious 6-year-old kids in the background, like you can spend the same price on a Blu-ray or probably less.
It's about $5 more to have it at my house. I'd rather do that.
Well, it depends on when you buy it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You can have it forever and basically the same experience if you have a big enough television. And there's really, you wonder when it's going to get to the point where studios just take advantage of the Blu-ray format or whatever comes behind it and just release stuff straight out that way.
Well, I think that's the other thing I was going to say was I think that is where it's moving. I mean, it's expensive to go to the movies, and it's inconvenient, and sometimes it's a royal pain in the ass because you get people now you get generations now who've grown up with television and people talking and talking all the way through the thing. It used to be you go to and cell phones and all this fucking
cell phones.
Bullshit.
God.
Nobody gives any consideration to the other people around them. It used to be you'd go to a movie theater, as soon as the movie starts, everybody shuts the fuck up and watches the movie, and you have this wonderful, magical shared experience. Now
it's funny.
It's all about me. And
if you pull a cell phone out, I fucking hate you. The end.
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you guys bring that up because I'll give you a perfect example. I had a relative in town a couple weeks ago, so I got lucky enough, I guess, if you want to call it that, where I got to see Oz the Great and Powerful on opening night.
Nice.
How was it?
And it was a freaking amazing film, and I'll get into film in a second. But the thing I had to deal with the whole night was a toddler who had no business seeing a film like that, crying behind me.
God, if you bring a baby, I want you to have cancer. So your kid can go to your shitty.
You're bringing a baby for one. You're bringing a baby for one, and for another, you're bringing a baby to a film he has no business seeing, because that would scare the crap out of a little kid.
By the way, if anyone's keeping track, this is drink 6 and pee number 8.
Yay!
But the film itself, Oz the Great and Powerful, I was shocked how good it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it works on every conceivable level. The cast works. Even Mila Kunis, which was the one big red flag. I was like, really? Mila Kunis, the romantic comedy, that 70s show Family Guy girl? She's going to be the Wicked Witch?
She's so hot.
She's hot,
But she's hot, and she pulled it off.
Yeah.
I want to put my boner in her.
And the
she did pull it off?
Yeah, she pulled it off well, and James Franco's great as Oz.
I heard like 3 out of 5 people don't like her.
Well, those people are fucking stupid.
Those people aren't true cinephiles because I'm hard on everything, and I'm telling you,
he's hard on everything.
I am. I'm hard on every film.
I'm sorry.
Hard on everything.
That's not what I meant.
Mila Kunis.
Get your bites out of the gutter, people. But I shouldn't be surprised about it. I'm talking to. So.
All right.
But yeah, the film itself it worked on every level, and the biggest thing about it is that people are scared of prequels all the time because they're like, is it going to affect my beloved treasure that is the Wizard of Oz? The biggest thing about it is it didn't do that, and it all made sense. The way the story that's told in Oz the Great and Powerful makes everything that happened in Oz, all the questions you had about the Wizard of Oz and where these people came from, it all flows together and makes absolutely perfect sense.
Cool.
So yeah, I highly recommend it. And if all that doesn't sell you enough, if the geek speak doesn't sell you, and you're just looking for the overall hard on, Michelle Williams is freaking amazing in every conceivable way. As
and she's a great rack.
Yes.
Most important factor.
Disney owns this movie, right?
Yes.
They own Star Wars.
Yep.
So when they do the Wizard of Oz re-release, will they make the old man in the Wizard of Oz will they digitally implant Franco? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Well, Disney. No. Disney.
They're not George Lucas.
Disney owns this movie. They don't own the original Wizard of Oz. That's MGM.
Yeah, plus the fact that that's a Lucas thing. That's not a Disney thing.
Yeah.
That was Lucas's crap.
Yeah.
George Lucas is nowhere near Oz. Thank God.
So getting back to what spawned this whole sidetrack here.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've all had shitty experiences in the theaters. I had the joyous experience of seeing Fellowship of the Ring for the first time in the theater with a bunch of teenage jackass douchebags in front of me who were like making stupid, idiotic 12-year-old comments through the whole fucking movie for 3.5 hours. It's like he goes to meet Bilbo. He's like, what did he say his name was? Dildo? Like, oh my God, kill me.
Are you sure it wasn't Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah, it was like, picture like a row of about 5 Beavis and Buttheads. That's what these guys were like.
Oh my God.
And I just wanted to
Similar story.
kill them all.
I was in the theater for Ghosts of Mars. Me and like 6 friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy in front of us won't shut up.
Yeah.
And I asked him 3 times to stop talking, trying to watch the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he just ignores me. So I took my cup and I dumped it on his fucking head. He turned around and was like, "What the fuck, you want to go?" And me and my 6 friends stayed up like, "Yeah, you want to go?" And he walked out.
Good.
Fuck you, asshole. That's what you get.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've thrown ice cubes at people because you don't fucking ruin a movie for other people.
No,
If you're
exactly.
being quiet and you're talking to the person next to you and no one else can hear you, that's fine. That's your guys' business, not mine.
Yeah.
And Sean was talking about the annoyance of cell phones when we first started this thing. It's sad when the freaking manager on opening night had to sit there and scream to my whole cinema like, "Turn your phones off now, please," because people like ignore the big freaking 50-foot thing on the screen that says, "Please turn off your
Yeah.
phones."
Well, the
Turn your phones off, please.
thing
They've tuned it out.
Cell phones.
They've tuned it out.
I went in the cinema one time, and this guy comes in with a cell phone, and his head is down the whole time, texting, not on the movie. I'm like, what in the hell did you pay $7 for to get in the cinema
Exactly.
if
Yes,
you're
why
just
are
gonna
you
come
not-
here and
Yes.
get on your phone?
Yeah,
I
I
would
know.
seriously, at that point, if the movie was literally starting and somebody had not turned off the phone, I'd be like, "Hey, turn the frickin' phone off!"
Yeah,
Ice cubes
it's
at
okay
people.
to yell during the previews because they have
Yeah.
50,000 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care if you talk to them in the previews, if you're on your phone during previews. It's just a preview, all right?
Yeah.
It's not that big a freaking deal. I don't even care if after the preview, wow, that movie looks like crap, and you're wrong. But I mean, it's not the point. The point is, it's a preview. It's not the movie. I don't care.
Speaking of
If the movie
trailers-
kicks on and your cell phone's out, I'm gonna throw in ice cubes at you. That's it. That's how it works.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, too bad. Let's fight. I don't care.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Well, speaking of trailers and Carl Urban earlier, how amazing the Star Trek Into Darkness.
I haven't seen that trailer.
I haven't
yet.
seen the new one yet.
I'm on the fence.
I'm kind of holding off because I don't want too much spoiled for me. But
Well, it gives a little bit more away, but not a lot for a
Yeah.
trailer.
But I was going to say, given the plethora of shitty experiences and the increasing frequency of them in the theater lately, I know that we're not alone in feeling that way, and I'm sure that that's why ticket sales are down and home video sales are
Okay.
up. And
Well,
Netflix,
To be fair,
things like
to be
Netflix and
fair,
streaming and shit like that.
All right. Well, Styles playing devil's advocate.
What?
so we have
What? What's style?
You
What's
unselect
fair?
my
What?
favorite
What's fair?
Jesus.
My
Why does
favorite
Raz get to hog the
experience
big screen?
my favorite experience in a movie theater was when I was like 12 years old, and I went to see Mortal Kombat Armageddon, one of the worst fucking movies of all time,
Annihilation.
with a friend of mine who was also named Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Annihilation, sorry. And there was this loud, obnoxious, annoying black guy sitting right in front of us, and
Oh,
like
God.
right in front of us,
That's racist.
yelling at the screen, just like fucking, "Yeah, go, get him!" And I was just like, we
You
just
are a
couldn't help but
stereotype,
laugh
sir.
our asses off the whole time. Yeah, because it's a fucking stereotype. We're just sitting there like, are you getting a
Racist,
fucking
but when
load
you're
of this
stereotype,
guy?
you're stereotype. I'm sorry. That's your fault.
Are you real?
It's like
Are you some movie character? Am I in a movie?
you stand up and you look at him and you say, "Wow, you really are a stereotype."
It was better than the movie.
Yeah.
So in cases like that, I'm like, yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Be as loud and obnoxious as you want to be. Do whatever the hell you want to. It's Mortal Kombat.
I would have walked out and asked for my money back.
Cares.
I would have at the
Well,
end of the movie. I would
it
like
does-
that fool right there. Talk through the whole movie. I want money
Yeah.
back.
Dallin
I-
says.
Annihilation.
Dallin says, "I'm coming to a theater with a cell phone near you, skin slip. I need a fight."
Do it. I'll pee on your corpse when I'm done.
I'll kill your
Well, here's-
culture.
Pee on corpses. Oh god.
Here's the thing about that sums up perfectly the point we're trying to make.
Mhm.
How long do films last in the cinema now? 3 months max,
Oh, if
and then they're out
lucky.
on Blu-ray.
If
And
they're
unless
lucky.
they get
It
like,
seems shorter than that.
Yeah.
unless they get like, how long were the Avengers in there?
Dread
Well, the
lasted like
Avengers
3
is
weeks.
a whole different animal.
The Avengers is literally a blockbuster. It's like the last.
Yeah, the
big
Avengers and
blockbuster we
freaking
had.
Dark Knight Rises, they're freaking different animals completely.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it seems like that was a good point, though. It seems like movies that don't blow up like the Avengers and the Dark Knight does, they don't get a very long run.
Exactly.
No, they don't.
And the thing that makes a film blow up like that, those two films are perfect examples of it. You have to have a built-in fan base already going into it in order for it to succeed.
And the thing about the Avengers, people were waiting on the Avengers for like 12 years. So, like, when that movie came out, everybody was like, hey, it's the Avengers, finally the movie's out, let's go see it.
Well, people have been wanting a proper Dredd movie for 20 years. However, it's not a big comic in the U.S. It's more of a UK character, UK franchise, and it just doesn't have the same worldwide appeal. I mean, everybody loves superheroes, but something like a dystopian, post-apocalyptic, fascist, satirical character like Judge Dredd has, to be honest, more limited appeal, regardless of how well done it is. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth.
He might be Britain's most popular superhero.
Well, he's certainly one of them. I mean, the character's been around for over 35 years. That's a pretty good run for any character. I mean, the 2000 AD, the comic book that it comes from, has been running for quite some time, and there's a lot of other characters that have been tried out over the years that have come and gone and been quickly forgotten, but Judge Dredd remains.
like your Captain Canuck.
Captain Canuck. I heard Captain Canuck was getting something of a revival. I don't know what's up with that, but...
Oh, Captain Canuck. It's funny because we were talking about, on my show, childhood memories and favorite childhood cartoons. Like, how awesome was Disney Afternoon? I mean, that was the most stacked lineup ever. You had DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, freaking Rescue Rangers, and freaking Tailspin. Like, all in one day.
I'll play devil's advocate here. This may shock you, but I was never actually a big fan of any of those.
Whoa.
Okay, well, you're really gonna have to explain this.
Darkwing Duck and Gummy Bears, yes, and I'll explain why. Because Darkwing Duck and Gummy Bears were original shows. They were original creations they created specifically for Saturday morning. No, it's not. Yes. DuckTales, Tailspin, Rescue Rangers, Goof Troop. Those are all pre-existing characters that were shoehorned into this Saturday morning formula show that they basically did to try to cash in on the popularity of those characters.
What did Launchpad or Scrooge appear in?
Just shut up. I saw it as nothing more than a corporate created product created solely for the purpose of milking money out of kids begging their parents for merchandise. And the other thing is, I'll tell you the thing that really pissed me off. All through growing up, my Disney childhood was with the shorts and the feature films. I always associated Disney with the creme de la creme of 2D animation, the best 2D animation in the business, the 2D animation that everybody else strives to be anywhere near as good as.
What the hell,
And then
Sean?
they come out with this Saturday morning drivel that is just like any other Saturday morning cartoon and nowhere near the animation quality that I had grown up with.
Saying that?
So when I first heard of it, I was like, "Oh my god, Disney's going to do like regular shows? How the fuck are they going to crank out that level of quality of animation on a weekly basis?" And then I saw what they'd done, and I was just like, "Oh, that's what they did."
Are you serious right now? Are you really being serious?
Okay.
What
and that's
has Scrooge McDuck been
and basically
right here.
Scrooge McDuck's been in tons of stuff before. He was not created for DuckTales, like other cartoons and comic books since like the frickin' 70s, dude. Come on, get your
like
right.
Mickey's Christmas Carol, man.
Yeah, Mickey's Christmas Carol. There you go. But so to me, it was basically the death of the Disney that I knew and that I had grown up with.
Oh my god! Your opinion is so full of
I hear everything Sean's saying. No.
So
I actually let me play devil's advocate before Skin Slip starts his rant. I hear everything. I hear everything
He doesn't
that
have a
Sean
rant. He
was-
was just reacting as I was talking.
No, he has a rant because he's freaking turned away from the screen
It's
drinking.
like, fuck
Oh,
you.
he's
I'm just gonna
got
drink.
a fucking rant building.
He's got- Okay, so I hear everything that Sean was saying. I do.
Yeah.
But, and honestly, I never looked at it that way because when you say it that way, it makes me rethink things. But what I will say about DuckTales is that DuckTales, despite all that, it was just gut-bustingly funny.
Yeah,
I never had an episode of DuckTales that didn't make me laugh.
I warmed up to them in later years. Like, my brother was a big fan of DuckTales, so that was actually the first time I'd really seen a lot of it was when he was watching the VHS tapes all the time. But for me, like, if it came... when they originally aired, if those shows came on, I tended to just flip to something else because I really didn't want anything to do with them. You know?
You hate yourself. Gotcha.
But Gummy Bears I liked because it was just a fun little fantasy adventure, and it was characters that had never appeared anywhere else. And Darkwing
Except
Duck,
in candy form.
and in candy form, yeah. And Darkwing Duck I liked because it's basically a big parody of Batman.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'm glad somebody actually finally said that.
Really?
Because
I thought that was obvious.
Yeah.
No,
It's
not as obvious as you think because
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend who may be watching, so I'll keep him anonymous. So he doesn't kill me. But if he is watching, I'll probably catch it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I was having I made that same comparison with him on Skype, and he was like, "You're nuts. They're not the same character."
Well, no, they're not the same character, but there's
punched in the face for being retarded. Apparently,
there are clear
Jesus.
connections and there are clear references.
I hope your friend
Yes.
gets mad because I called him retarded.
Yeah.
And the thing, and I mean, if nothing else, I mean, who didn't walk around going,
In my opinion,
yeah.
Oh, that's my.
It's like, wait a minute. Darkwing Duck has
Wait,
nothing
wait.
to do with Batman. They don't even
Oh,
have the same last name.
Yeah.
God, that was my opinion of Sean's opinion.
Some epic
And
sparks,
Launch-
man. You're giving me some
and Lau-
competition now.
And Launchpad, Skinslip was talking about Launchpad earlier. Launchpad was so much better on
I love
Darkwing
Launchpad.
Duck than he was on.
I
DuckTales.
agree. No, I totally agree with that. I like DuckTales because it was like Indiana Jones and the Three Stooges and like Bruce Wayne as Bruce Wayne, all mixed in one. It was awesome.
Well, no, yeah,
I
it
am
was gut-bustingly
So
funny.
disappointed. So
Why?
disappointed.
You know what? Fuck you,
In-
Stout.
Not in you, in Sean.
Okay.
I'm just
Fantastic. All
disappointed.
right.
Okay?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that I don't
have a
love
rant to
every
say, yeah.
cartoon that's ever come on
Yeah,
television,
you
but
should be
there
ashamed
No,
of
you
there-
yourself.
should.
there
because
are
you're Mr.
some-
Cartoon. You
Yeah,
love all
you- be
cartoons,
ashamed.
and you're hating on
Have
cartoons.
some shame and personal
Here's the
dignity.
thing.
Do you see any Disney stuff in my collection?
You grew up with the,
Just
with the
saying.
shorts.
Problem with that.
You see the Disney shorts as like the creme de la creme.
I
so
do.
Did I.
Absolutely.
See, the thing is, I had Disney Channel growing up because I was such a big fan of all these shows.
I used to watch
So
Disney
not only
stuff
was I watching
all
those
the
shows,
time when I
I
was a
was
kid.
watching all the shorts
Except
that
the
used
good
to come
stuff,
on
apparently.
Disney Channel too.
No, I watched
And
the
they
good
had,
stuff.
like,
I
a
wasn't
short
watching the
every
crap.
freaking hour. They had a Disney short, an original Disney short, like at least once an hour.
Yeah.
So I saw
yeah.
all that awesome, goofy
Yeah.
stuff.
For
and,
sure.
The Chip and Dale and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I
grew
saw them
up
all
with
too.
that, too.
Loved
The
them.
thing is,
I used to
grew up
have all of the frickin'
and
Disney
all
treasure
these
tins.
cartoons,
Nice.
And I knew the difference between the two.
Yeah.
My
I
wife
knew
got them.
what they were doing with that, even at that young age. But I liked it nonetheless. I mean, when you say Rescue Rangers, it's just like, oh, they're just taking this. No, it's completely fucking different from the original characters of Chip and Dale. I don't know.
Well,
what
it
the hell
is-
you're
it is-
thinking.
The only thing that
So
they
does
had
have
was
a
the
point there because I
correlate
was
between
about
each other. That was
to
it.
say the thing I noticed immediately when I watched Rescue Rangers was like, Chip and Dale can talk? What is this?
The only thing they kept was the fact of the relationship between each other, the slight fighting, the brotherly thing. That's it. It's completely different show.
No, I get that they
You
were
can always
doing
kinda hear a
different
little bit,
things with the characters, but I mean, if this was still the days of the shorts, them going off and having some Indiana Jones adventures would be one short. That's it. And then the next short would be something else.
So extend that short to 30 minutes, and you've got a DuckTales episode.
Okay, but I think I understand what he's saying though. Your problem with that format was that there wasn't enough originality to it. It was basically like the same thing every week.
Well, and that was the nice thing about the shorts as well. And the same goes to the Warner Brothers shorts, is that you got a variety of situations for these characters to get into. They weren't locked into a solid formula every time. I mean, there were certain standards. I mean, obviously, Huey, Dewey, and Louie are always going to make life hell for Donald in some way. But the situation was always different. You know, the circumstances were different. It wasn't always the same thing. And I think that was one of the issues I had with it. I mean, yeah, they're obviously the animation quality, but I mean, it was just silly of me to even entertain the idea that they would have the same level of animation quality on a Saturday morning show. But, you know, I'd be lying if I didn't say the thought hadn't crossed my mind, and I was disappointed when that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
On some level, at least, you know. But,
yeah.
Oh, God.
Rage! As usual, Sean, you know, on the rare occasions when you and I do disagree, you've made me rethink things. So.
Well, like, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Turn your opinion.
I get it. I understand the appeal of those shows, and I understand why those of you who grew up with them love them, and that's fine. That's great. Good for you. It was a little bit after my time, and I guess I just missed the boat on those.
Well, you know.
I was in my cynical days, so I didn't.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example of in reverse, though, kind of how you talked about how our generation grew up with those shows.
Yeah.
I'm even though I was born in '79, I don't really remember the '80s cartoons all that well until I became an adult.
Yeah.
Like I remember the '90s stuff more.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely great. I mean, I was born in '72, so I don't really remember the '70s stuff that much until I saw it later.
And I was born in '82,
but
and I remember all the '80s cartoons.
And I was in, you know, I watched most. I grew up with and watched mostly the '80s stuff because that was just the age I was at the time.
When you became cognitive.
Well, yeah. What I was going to say was I had never seen Transformers beyond Generation 2.
Yeah.
So I had no idea that how bad Generation 2 actually was.
That was your introduction to Transformers?
Yeah.
My sincerest condolences, dude. That's just awful.
You know, to be honest, actually, that was my first thing too. But at the same time, I saw that, and then I looked at my VHS and went, "What? What?
Yeah." So what was
this?
Suddenly.
It wasn't actually until befriending you and watching your, and I'm sorry, I'm probably going to open you up to a bunch of trolling here, and I don't mean to.
Good.
Hey, everything opens me up to trolling. Don't worry about it.
It wasn't until your first half of your Transformers reviews that I realized how much I'd been missing out on. So what I did was I went back and I watched the Transformers animated film.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this was pretty amazing stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I went and tracked down some of G1, and I watched some of that. Well, what I've been watching from the very beginning now is Transformers Prime.
Oh, yeah.
And Transformers Prime has a lot of the elements of Generation 1 in it.
It's kind of it's a mix.
That's why I like Rid also, same reason.
And
I takes elements from all the different incarnations over the years.
And actually, it'll probably be tomorrow morning now because I'm having fun hanging out with y'all, and I'm probably going to crash as soon as I have to go to bed. But Transformers Prime, the new season, debuted tonight, actually. So, and it's taking on the Beast Wars moniker.
The Beast Hunters, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're bringing the Beast into it.
It's called Beast Hunters, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
It's very
you're right. Beast Hunters.
I only know this because of the toys. I haven't actually watched the show past the first story arc.
Yes, but the show, like, I became immediately hooked with the world.